On the African savanna, no treasure is more precious than a young generation. Every day, countless lives are born. But from that very moment, the fight to protect them begins. For many species, the instinct to be a parent is stronger even than the fear of death. Because in this land, the future of an entire species is sometimes decided in just a few short minutes. Beside a shallow water hole in the dry season, the soft mud holds a dense scatter of footprints large and small. A small round print of a calf sits pressed right beside the broad footprint of its mother. Only moments ago, the whole herd had ambled down together for a drink. But with a single misstep, the calf sank into the soft mud at the water's edge. An adult elephant's legs are tall enough to wade through, but the calf sinks to its belly. Each time it strains to pull one leg free, the other three only drive deeper into the mud. The mother hurries close, slipping her trunk beneath the calf's belly to lift. That trunk, which can hoist hundreds of kilos, now trembles faintly, not from the weight. Because about 100 meters off, in the tall grass, the lionesses lie in wait. A calf trapped in mud is the very chance they've awaited through the whole long dry season. But the mother is far from alone, for an elephant herd is a tight-knit, matriarchal society. One wades in at once, using her feet to push away the mud clamping around the little one. Then the others join the rescue one by one. Not a single one stands aside. For them, the next generation is always the shared responsibility of the whole family. As the mother pours her strength into pulling the calf, the herd silently draws into a circle. Every head, every pair of tusks faces outward in all four directions, shielding the young one at the center. Seeing this, the lionesses rise and advance a few paces to probe. But a dozen adult elephants instantly turn to face them. Ears flared wide, white tusks aimed straight at them. A lion's fangs are all but useless against an elephant's hide, while those tusks are deadly enough. Knowing they cannot win, the four lionesses falter, then quietly turn away. The calf stands on the bank, legs still trembling, as its mother gently lays her trunk on its back to soothe it. And from the south, another sound carries over, the hoofbeats of hundreds of animals. That sound grows louder and louder until hundreds of buffalo come surging toward the dry river. Lost within that churning black mass is a small buffalo calf, walking close beside its mother. The lionesses had been silently trailing the buffalo herd all along. The moment the calf is swept apart from its mother by the current, they shift their course at once. Missing nothing, one lioness lunges out. It seizes the calf, and the calf's shrill scream rings out, tearing across the space above the river. The whole herd had just reached the southern bank when it froze. Then as one mass wheeled sharply back around, hundreds of curved black horns now all point together toward the young one being pinned. Before the overwhelming force of the entire herd, the lioness is forced to release its prey and flee. The calf, though covered in scrapes, still struggles to its feet, ringed and guarded by the whole herd. The calf staggers after its mother, merging back into the herd that shelters it. Across the river, a troop of baboons is spreading out to forage beneath the towering acacias. But hidden up in one of those very trees, a leopard lies pressed flat against a branch. Its spotted coat blends into the bark, its golden eyes intently following every movement of the troop. Below the tree, the baboons dig in the earth for food, some mothers still carrying young on their backs. One infant has just climbed down, wandering off curiously to play in the dirt, utterly unaware of the danger. The more it plays, the farther the infant drifts from its mother, just a few short steps. But those few steps are enough for a leap from the tree to be faster than any reach of its mother's arm. Then the hunter strikes. From the high branch, the leopard drops and plunges down, snatching up the infant in a single beat, faster than any reflex of the mother baboon beside it. The whole baboon troop erupts into chaos. Alarm calls ring out across the forest, but the leopard has already clamped its jaws on its prey. It grips the little one tight and quietly carries it off. Behind it, the mother baboon still follows without letting go, screaming in anguish while helplessly watching her child grow ever more distant. Just minutes later, all the cries gradually fade. The hunt is over, and once again, the law of survival tips toward the predator. In primates, the bond of a mother runs so deep that she still silently trails the one who stole her child. The forest slowly falls quiet. Then from afar echoes a burst of fierce sound. It's the barking of a pack of wild dogs, scrambling in alarm toward the tall grass. Right beneath an acacia lies a deep den, where pups just a few weeks old sleep soundly. What throws the whole pack into panic is the lions, the battered survivors after their crushing defeat by the buffalo. To them, the dogs are rivals for prey, to be killed on sight whenever the chance arises. The pack leader plants itself right at the den's mouth, facing down creatures many times its own weight. To charge in is certain death, but behind it lies the entire hope of the pack's next generation. With just two curt signals, the group instantly splits in two. Three throw themselves recklessly out to provoke the lions, nipping at their flanks, then darting away to lure them off. While the three decoys draw the lions away, four other members rush straight to the den mouth to evacuate the pups. The rest fan out to keep watch, guarding against any threat. The first four reach safety, but two of the smallest still remain in the den. The lead mother carries one out ahead then hurries back to fetch the very last. At that same moment, far off, a few decoys still tirelessly lead the lions in circles. One hunter, wounded from the clash with the buffalo, keeps falling behind. But at that very instant, another lion, still full of vigor, cuts sideways and brings down the slowest one. The unlucky victim is not the pup's father or mother, but only an animal. It falls, but because of it, all 6 pups make it back to the new den. For wild dogs, a single individual may fall, so long as the whole generation is saved. At the new den, the pups lie heaped on one another, fast asleep after the long journey. Around the edge, the whole pack quietly stands guard, their numbers now fewer than in the morning. Before long, the mother returns and lies down to nurse her pups. The tiny bellies quickly press in close, jostling over the precious milk. None of them know that to earn this moment of peace, the whole pack had to pay with the life of one aunt. As evening falls, the mud around the waterhole is etched with the footprints of countless species overlapping one another. Round prints, cloven hoof marks, and long, slender tracks. Each footprint is the mark of a battle for survival. And right now, all across the savannah, thousands of other mothers still stand between their children and death. The dry season returns to the savannah once more. The sun bakes the earth until it cracks, the last watering holes dry down to bare mud, and the vast grassland is left with nothing but a scorched gold. The lion pride lies listless beneath the trees, ribs jutting out one by one. The cheetah gives up and abandons its territory. The hyena wanders twice the distance and still comes back with nothing. Only there, on that rocky outcrop, a dappled figure still basks leisurely in the sun. Muscle rolls beneath its glossy coat. Nothing about it suggests a creature that has gone without food. This is the leopard, the famed lone wanderer of the savannah. From on high, its golden eyes lock onto a herd of impala grazing at the foot of the cliff. The leopard silently pours itself down the base of the cliff, smooth as a ribbon of silk drifting along. It flattens its body and crawls across the grass, the rosettes on its back blending into the dappled shadows of the ground. Step by step, the distance shrinks. It presses in behind a dry thorn bush, eyes locked on the impala, patiently waiting until only a few strides separate them. The leopard bursts from its hiding place like a coiled spring released. In just 2 bounds, it lands on the impala's back, pins it to the grass, then closes its jaws on the throat until the final breath. Before long, the scent of blood reaches 3 damp noses downwind. 3 spotted hyenas rise slowly to their feet, their round ears pricking up with excitement. Three hulking shadows come charging in, aggressive and making no effort to hide. Still crouched over its prey, the leopard lifts its head, ears rising at the sound drawing ever closer. It lets out a low, resentful growl, then backs away from the fruit of its own labor. For it knows all too well, a single wound is enough to end an entire solitary life. The hyenas swarm around the impala's carcass, wolfing down the stolen prize. A few dozen paces away, the true hunter can only watch its meal dwindle away. It turns its back and walks off, its gaze still lingering on the towering acacia canopy behind it. Today's lesson is a costly one. Down on the ground, a lone creature can never hold on to its meal. Having lost a large meal, the leopard does not lose heart waiting on luck. It does not leave in search of new lands, but returns to its familiar territory, starting over from the smallest thing. Just half an hour after losing its prey, it has its first bite. A bird swoops down looking for seeds, and a clean pounce closes the moment before it can take wing. A little later, it wades into a shallow stream, its paws plunging down to snatch a fish. For a leopard, a single day can mean 10 small meals, and that is its secret. The next morning, another herd of impala falls into its sight. But the first thing the leopard notices is not the antelope. It is the acacia casting its shadow right beside them. It approaches far more slowly, seeking not a bush, but a tree. Tucked behind the rough acacia trunk, the leopard measures with its eyes the short distance from the herd to the base of the tree. A male impala grazes absent-mindedly, turning its back toward the acacia. The leopard springs out from behind the trunk, slamming it down before the horns can drop into a defensive stance. But this time, instead of resting beside the carcass, it rises at once. Its jaws clamp firmly onto the impala's neck, dragging the heavy body straight toward the base of the tree. The high fork of this tree now becomes the leopard's private kitchen. The meal rests there, out of reach of nearly everything on the ground, waiting for it to return and nibble over the course of several days. Before long, a pack of wild dogs comes charging to where the scent of blood leads. Vultures too spiral down, circle by circle, only to end up bewildered before a patch of grass with nothing left on it. From up in the leaves, a scrap of bone slips from the leopard's mouth and falls to the grass below. That dry, brittle sound reaches the ears of a troop of baboons just passing beneath the acacia. Shrill screeches ring out at once, short and urgent. This species of monkey has a signal all its own for the leopard, not to be confused with the alarm calls for eagles or lions. The troop rushes off in an instant, leaving behind one clumsy little one. On instinct, it scrambles up the tree beside it, the place that has sheltered monkeys from danger for generations. Sadly, the tree cannot save it from this one. Abandoning the impala carcass, the leopard seizes the young monkey. On a single branch in the heart of the barren dry season, There are now 2 meals, all for itself. Having lost one of their young, the whole troop wails piteously at the foot of the tree. But that desperate cry is a signal every predator in the region knows by heart. And then, what answers the monkey's cries is a low roar that shakes the very ground. From the grass to the west, the dark mane of a male lion slowly emerges. The leopard instantly presses its body flat against the branch, motionless as a patch of bark. Its spotted coat blends into the flickering play of light and shadow until it dissolves into the leaves. Only when the dark mane vanishes behind the grass does it dare breathe steadily again. Just now, what saved its life was not fang or claw, but a coat of fur and a few sprigs of leaves. Waiting a good while longer, it finally slips down to the ground and quietly makes its way along the edge of the grass. After every upheaval, the leopard always walks a circuit of its territory to check on everything. At a tree on the edge of its territory, its nose suddenly wrinkles in wariness. The bark bears the claw marks of another, and on the wind lingers a scent entirely unfamiliar. The strange scent leads it on a stretch further, to a place where another leopard stands still in the grass. The newcomer has a smaller build. Both stand rooted to the spot, 2 pairs of golden eyes locked on each other and refusing to look away. The territory's owner lowers its body, bares its gleaming white teeth, and lets out a low, muffled growl. That battle ends before it can even begin. The one who came later flattens its ears, drops its gaze, then slowly retreats, choosing defeat to keep its body whole. That forbearance is not cowardice, but the calculation of a lone wanderer. With no kin to care for it, it must keep this body intact at all costs. Back at the acacia, the leopard climbs up to finish off its unfinished meal. The sunlight has begun to fade, but the meat hanging on the branch is still enough for many more days. Right beneath its feet, columns of ants silently haul away the fallen scraps. Even a meal hidden high above ends up, in the end, sustaining countless other lives. The dry season is still long, and at the forest's edge, another shadow looms closer. That one does not climb trees, nor hunt by night, yet it survives in an entirely different way. The Sahara sand surface reaches over 60 degrees at midday. No creature dares venture out, except for tiny silver specks darting about on nimble legs. Those are silver ants, appearing only when the desert is at its most brutal. When every predator has retreated beneath the sand, they begin their brief race against time. Within just a few minutes, they sweep up every insect carcass on the surface, then vanish back into the earth. The desert surface is bare under the sun again, not a movement. But the Sahara is not dead. Beneath that scorched sand, countless eyes are still waiting for the temperature to drop before stepping out to hunt. Under a dune, inside a burrow far cooler than the surface, a creature waits for the heat to recede. At the burrow entrance, two pointed tips rise just above the sea of sand. The smallest fox in the world, the fennec carries the largest ears of any canine, catching the faintest sounds while helping the body shed heat. When the afternoon sun softens, it slowly opens its eyes. The ears turn slowly, listening for any movement, while the nose continuously tests the wind for news carried from far away. Finding the area around the burrow still quiet, it steps outside. The thick fur beneath its paws insulates the body from the residual heat still rising from the ground. The fox moves along the slope of a dune in the cooling afternoon light. Both ears keep shifting direction, filtering for faint sounds rising from beneath the sand. Suddenly, it stops. Both ears point to the same spot ahead, where a scorpion is digging through the shallow sand below. The fox lunges, drives its muzzle into the sand, and digs it up. Seconds later, the scorpion is flung out. One bite behind the tail neutralizes the stinger. Then the jaws crunch through the hard shell. But one tiny scorpion barely touches a hungry belly. It moves along the base of a dune, searching for the next meal as dusk settles in. 10 minutes later, a mole cricket and a beetle are pulled from the sand. The dunes that lay silent all through the midday heat are now quietly alive with signs of life. The fox pauses on a sand mound, drawing in the passing wind. Then it stiffens, carried on. The breeze is a scent both familiar and alarming. About 300 meters away, a gray shape is moving steadily along a dune ridge. It is a striped hyena, one of the Sahara's most well-known opportunistic scavengers. Not as fast as the spotted hyena, but carrying an exceptionally sensitive nose. And right now, that nose has just caught the scent of the small fox. Now it is a contest of two senses across the desert wind. One listening for footsteps, the other tracking by scent. And both know the other is closing in. Instead of fleeing, the fox chooses to hide right in front of its enemy. It presses its body as flat as it can, ears pinned back, its sand-colored coat quickly dissolving into the desert surface. The hyena follows the scent trail. The distance keeps narrowing, but ahead there is nothing but sand and more sand. The nose says the prey is right here. The eyes see nothing. The hyena is now just 50 meters away. Then a scorpion crawls past right against the fox's muzzle. The unexpected contact makes it flinch. Both ears lift off the sand surface. That alone is enough to break the camouflage. The hyena snaps its head around. What its nose had been tracking has just appeared right before its eyes. The footsteps immediately quicken. The fox springs upright and bolts down the slope of the dune, its small light body moving as though skimming across the surface. Behind it, the hyena gives chase. Heavier, each stride sinking deeper with every step. The pursuit stretches across one dune slope after another. The fox keeps changing direction. Its compact body makes each turn easy, while the hyena has to recover its momentum after every swerve. The gap gradually widens. The desert does not favor the larger or the stronger. It favors whoever is best adapted to the sand underfoot. But the hyena does not give up. Hunger makes it more stubborn than usual. A fox, however small, is a meal worth expending effort for on the sand. By the third minute, the fox's breathing is coming in rapid bursts. The small body is heating up, every breath carrying away a little more of its precious limited moisture. Worse, across the open sandfield, there is nowhere dense enough to hide. The fox has no choice but to keep running, while the hyena presses closer with every stride, each lunge just about to close on it. And the direction changes have slowed. The distance shrinks with every beat. For the first time, the hyena sees the prey within reach. Just as the pursuit is about to be decided, an enormous shadow suddenly sweeps across the sand, and a third hunter has entered the game. The newcomer is the Faroe eagle owl, the largest owl in North Africa. A wingspan of more than 1 meter, soft-edged feathers cutting through the air without a sound. Those enormous amber eyes take in every movement below. To the owl, both fox and hyena are prey, and it has already locked on to the smaller target. The owl dives, talons driving straight toward the small back. But the fox's ears catch the faintest sound of displaced air. It dodges sideways just before the talons make contact. Missing the fox, those sharp talons seize the hyena driving just behind. The hyena shudders and cries out in pain. And in the chaos, the fox has already broken away. But the hyena is not shaken. Ignoring the owl above, it pours every remaining ounce of effort into one target, each frantic stride eating up the distance. This time, the fox cannot dodge in time. The jaws lunge forward and clamp into the hind body. The fox cries out, struggling desperately, but the grip only tightens. At that exact moment of life and death, a shadow crashes down from above again. The owl driving in to contest the catch. The hyena recoils in alarm, its jaws involuntarily loosening for an instant. The fox seizes that moment, tears itself free, and drives down the dune slope, rolling onto the sand. Reaching the base of the dune, it trembles into the shelter of a sand mound and goes completely still. Above, the hyena is still searching, but the pursuit has cost too much. After a few futile sniffs at the wind, it finally turns and leaves with nothing. The fox stays motionless, not daring to stir, until its ears can no longer pick up a single footfall. Only then does it slowly raise its head, eyes darting across the sand in every direction. The fox steps out of hiding, exhausted and parched. It stands on the sand, draws in the wind, senses quiet in every direction. The hyena has gone, but the sky has not. Because the Faroe eagle owl does not give up as easily as the hyena. It has been perched on a rock outcrop nearby, amber eyes locked onto the fox's hiding spot, waiting for exactly this moment. Now there is no more hyena, no more chaotic pursuit to take advantage of. Only the solitary fox, and a hunter silently descending from behind. The fox's ears still catch the warning, but this time, the exhausted body has betrayed it. Before it can dodge, the talons have already locked down onto the small back. The owl beats its wings and rises, carrying its prey in its talons. The hyena trudges away with an empty belly, and the fox remains in the sand forever. When everything settles, the desert cools and the earth stirs quietly. From beneath the layers of sand, small creatures emerge one by one, resuming the familiar rhythm of life. In this place, there is no absolute victory. The hyena spent itself and came away with nothing. The fox escaped one threat only to fall to another. And the final share always belongs to the one that knows how to wait. Tomorrow morning, when the first ray of light touches the sand, another fox will push its ears above the burrow entrance. It too will dart out, hunt for food, and begin the same cycle of hunting in a new day. That is the largest desert on the planet, where life has never been something to take for granted. Here, surviving one more day is already a victory. Sand surface temperature has exceeded 60 degrees. Air bent, turning everything distant into mirages flowing blurred on the horizon. Yellow scorpion seeks shade, nestling into rock crevice to avoid sun. Outside, under high-temperature rocks begin cracking from thermal expansion. Heat presses down on Sonoran like invisible weight. Owl hides in tree trunk avoiding sun. Under thornbush, jackrabbit presses flat to ground, dilating blood vessels in ears to radiate heat. But beneath scorching sand layer, ground surface shifts slightly. Horned lizard emerges, dusting sand with transparent eyelids before stepping into heat level. All other species are avoiding. It possesses osteoderm armor layer, helping adapt to harsh heat. Red ants crawl across nose and head spikes, while its body not yet warm enough to react. Tongue flicks out extremely fast, rolling up each ant, then swallowing whole. On dessert, energy-conserving hunting strategy, more important than pursuit speed. Horned lizard walks, and at cholla bush edge, another movement appears. Small burrow entrance stirs. Two long whiskers poke out, sensing ground vibrations. Desert mouse stands motionless before burrow entrance, only ears continuously rotating, detecting sounds. After seconds of vigilance, it finally steps into dangerous open space. Long hind legs help it leap far and change direction instantly. It dashes between mesquite bushes, exposing itself on bare sand surface. It's searching for seeds, but never losing vigilance about surrounding environment. For desert rodents, danger typically comes from above. Above, two golden eagles glide on thermal currents, barely needing to flap wings. They've appeared since ground began absorbing heat. With vision 8 times human, plus talons creating grip force over 2,800 pounds per square inch. Golden eagle has locked tight on small brown dot between two bushes right when it left burrow. Eagle tilts wings, adjusting descent trajectory, calculating wind and prey's running direction. Wrong angle causes failure and wastes energy on dessert. On ground, mouse detects round shadow advancing on sand, immediately flees, changing direction, lunging toward a rock maze instead of running straight to familiar burrow. Eagle talons stab into sand where mouse just stood. It watches prey. Mouse continues running, carrying first trace, opening hunting signal. Mouse rushes into maze of stacked granite rocks, making eagle unable to approach. Shade reduces heat significantly, But this terrain is also shelter for other predator species. Rock rattlesnake has necrotic venom. Thanks to heat pit, it detects mouse through very small temperature difference before seeing and begins rattling tail. Mouse freezes. Ahead is snake. Behind is eagle. But instead of panicking, it calculates escape chance when snake strikes and misses, needing about 3 seconds to coil back. Opportunity will open. Mouse creates vibration, stimulating snake to strike first. When strike lunges forward, it leaps sideways, then passes through narrow gap in very short time. Right then, eagle lunges into rock gap following mouse direction. Large movement brings it into defense reflex range of agitated snake. Snake launches second strike. Fangs only graze eagle's chest feathers, forcing predator to spring back out, yielding rock maze to true owner. Mouse escapes maze from west side. It breathes heavily, legs beginning to feel heavy. Ahead is bare sand plain, but behind is pursuing eagle. Two eagles coordinate above. One forces direction, the other waits ready at strike angle, creating pincer position, leading mouse right into attack trajectory. Cactus branch makes it slip slightly, but it still struggles to keep running, driven into talon range, diving down from about 30 meters height. Just as the talons were about to make contact, the mouse spotted the hollow skull. Its hind legs kicked off, and it changed direction, diving straight in and vanishing as the talons snapped shut over the top of the cranium. The skull creates a natural shelter. The narrow eye sockets prevent the eagle's beak from reaching deep inside, while the bone layer keeps the temperature significantly lower than the open sand. Eagle perches on skull, continuously pecking into open gaps, but mouse still lies deep inside skull cavity. Tug of war between desert's strongest and hollow skull begins. 5 minutes. Sun scorches sand surface, but skull remains cool thanks to heat reflection and light convection. Meanwhile, eagle must continuously shift feet to force mouse to run out. After 10 minutes, one perched on cactus begins losing patience, scanning for other targets, while the other pecks one last time, but still powerless before skull. Finally, eagles fly away in turn, abandoning energy-draining hunt, leaving skull in desert midst with mouse still alive inside. Mouse pokes whiskers from eye socket, checking vibrations and shadows on sand, then crawls out, dusts sand from fur, and runs to nearest burrow. Escape ends. By reflexes faster than eagle talons, body twist making snake miss strike, and a hollow skull lying right where no one expected. Eagles have ascended high again, and eyes still scanning. From afar, they detect new movement racing fast among cactus bushes. Zebra-tailed lizard, running at 30 kilometers per hour speed, black-white stripes bobbing. Being pursued by collared lizard, specialist eating smaller kindred, chasing behind. Collared lizard, with large head and powerful jaw force, completely focused on prey ahead, not at all recognizing predator shadow marked on sand. Zebra-tailed lizard dives underground. Pursuer behind stops in open area. It halts observing but doesn't see prey anywhere. Above, eagle has locked target early, waiting for exact moment lizard stops in open ground to dive from most advantageous attack angle. Collared lizard hears wind whistle behind, but reacts slowly. Body too hot, after chase making legs lose half speed. 2 meters become unreachable distance. Eagle talons clamp tight around lizard body and lift it from sand surface. Amid open space, with no rock gaps or shelter, all escape chances vanish. Eagle carries prey flying to nest on large cactus tree, while zebra-tailed lizard silently stays under sand, surviving by being faster than what once hunted it. Eagle perches on cactus tree feeding its young. Lost small mouse but gained larger prey instead. Enough one meal for its offspring. Desert food chain continues operating. Seeds feed mouse, insects feed lizard, lizard feeds eagle. Then decomposing carcass returns nutrients to soil and plants. Horned lizard lies pressed on warm rock after eating enough ants. Bone armor layer protects body, while blood squirting ability helps drive away many predator species. In cool burrow, mouse is moving, thanks to extremely efficient water concentrating kidney system, helping it live almost without needing to drink water amid arid desert. Rattlesnake still coiled. Slow metabolism helps it fast many days. Waiting for temperature to drop, then begins night hunting with heat pit. Dusk touches Sonoran. Sunlight gradually shifts to orange-red, while desert rocks begin radiating heat, absorbed throughout the long day. Desert changes shifts. Horned lizard prepares to bury itself in sand. Eagle stops hunting. Scorpion leaves rock crevice, and mouse pokes whiskers out burrow entrance again. Now is safest time. Rattlesnake crawls from maze, continuously flicking tongue and scanning heat. Where once was daytime shelter, now becomes nighttime hunting ground. Sonoran Desert spans over 300,000 square kilometers. With extreme temperature range, creatures here must adapt to daytime heat or nighttime cold to survive. Each species carries unique survival strategy, but all adaptations have limits. No one is perfect, only the most suitable. Dawn over Africa, first light touches the river surface. Thin mist rises from the still water, covering the sandy bank like an ethereal veil. Along the riverbank, footprints in wet sand tell last night's story. Some came to drink and left. Some species disappeared, never to return. In the distance, a baboon troop approaches the riverbank, then stops on high ground, observing the water below, displaying vigilance mechanisms selected through evolutionary process. This river is both life source and boundary between life and death. For small creatures like the baboon troop, each approach is a survival decision. Baboons are among Africa's most intelligent and fierce primates. Gray-brown fur, elongated face, and good eyesight help maintain high vigilance. Their jaws are fearsome weapons. Canines can reach 8 centimeters long, bite force from 500 to 700 pounds per square inch, enough to tear enemy flesh in an instant. They live in troops from several dozen to over 100 individuals, with clear hierarchical social structure helping maintain order and reduce conflict within the group. Baboons are omnivores, consuming from plants to small animals. Flexible diet helps them adapt effectively to harsh conditions of prolonged dry season. Their notable feature is a sophisticated warning system. Different sounds correspond to each threat, from birds of prey above to predators in bushes. But with dangers underwater, warning signals become limited when forced to cross rivers. Survival pressure forces the troop to choose despite existing risks. The troop leader advances, observing the river surface. In the next few seconds, its choice will directly affect the entire troop's safety. Behind, the entire troop waits silently in tension. Mother baboons clutch their young tightly, as delaying too long can also increase attack risk. The water surface is still, flat, and suspiciously calm. In African river ecosystems, silence often conceals lurking potential dangers. A dark shadow over 4 meters long lies motionless beneath murky water. Only eyes and nose protrude, camouflaged effectively like drifting rotten logs. Nile crocodiles are top ambush predators, with morphology virtually unchanged for millions of years. Their pupils are extremely sensitive to movement. Third eyelid supports underwater observation, helping detect prey precisely within hunting range. Nile crocodile bite force exceeds 3,000 pounds per square inch, enough to crush prey bones. Once jaws have closed, almost no force can make them open. As ambush predators, they can lie motionless for extended periods to conserve energy and only attack when opportunity reaches optimal level. The tactic is very simple but extremely effective. Wait for prey to approach, attack in less than 1 second, and drag underwater to drown. Baboons are well aware of danger, while crocodiles are ready to ambush. The encounter between vigilance and silent strength begins right at this river bend. Finally, the troop leader decides to descend into water, each step cautious. The entire troop immediately follows, maintaining tight formation in this life or death choice. Adult males go first, water rising to their bellies. Behind, females hold young tightly, maintaining high vigilance against sudden attack risk. When the troop reaches midstream, water level rises to adult chests. Young cling tightly to mothers to avoid being swept away. Tension reaches peak. Suddenly, the water surface behind erupts. A crocodile charges with terrifying speed. The baboon troop panics, signals warnings. Formation immediately shatters. Individuals in front rush quickly toward opposite bank, while the rear group turns back. Dispersal breaks troop cohesion, making hunting risk increase. In nature, living in groups helps distribute risk. When separated, solitary individuals quickly become the clearest targets in dangerous environments. The crocodile locks target, not chasing the troop, but focusing on separated individual. This is common hunting tactic, prioritizing weak or slow-moving ones. Crocodile jaws close just centimeters from the baboon. Water splashes high. This individual escapes narrowly, rushing ashore at maximum speed thanks to survival reflexes. On both banks, baboons stand panting. The troop is divided by the deadly water. The first river crossing ends with luck, but not everyone made it to the other side. On the old bank, a mother baboon with young is trapped. She looks across to the other side, where most of the troop has safely gathered. Below the water surface, the crocodile has submerged, restoring initial calm. However, that silence is only concealing danger still lurking below. The mother baboon understands she cannot wait long. Lack of food and troop separation diminishes social standing. She must decide quickly to ensure survival chance. On the other side, the troop cannot wait, begins moving into areas with food. Distance gradually increases, forcing the mother baboon under pressure to act urgently. She descends into water. The young clings tightly to mother's back. Cold water gradually submerges the body. Each step is gambling with fate. Having advanced some distance, she steps slowly. The water surface ahead ripples lightly, then falls silent. Mother baboon is vigilant, eyes scanning along the current. From the right side, the crocodile suddenly lunges up without warning signs. At a speed impossible to react to, its jaws aim straight for the young on her back. Teeth sink deep into the young's leg. A piercing cry rings out. Mother baboon grabs her offspring, pulls back, creating a life-and-death tug-of-war in the water. On the bank, the baboon troop scatters. Warning cries ring out continuously, but no one dares enter the water, can only observe from safe distance. Mother baboon resists by instinct, continuously biting, clawing, and jerking. However, her bite force is significantly weaker than the crocodile's, making advantage tilt toward the predator. As the struggle drifts toward shore, the crocodile gradually loses advantage in shallow water. Seizing the rare opportunity, Mother baboon musters strength for one final jump. The young escapes the crocodile's jaws, but in an instant, the crocodile switches targets and locks jaws onto Mother baboon's leg. The young runs ashore, trembling with leg wound. Another baboon pulls it into the troop's center. It survives, but the price paid doesn't belong to it. Underwater, Mother baboon still resists, but the pulling force increasingly tilts toward the predator. Bit by bit, she's drawn away from shallow water. On the bank, cries thin out, then cease completely. The baboon troop helplessly watches, unable to intervene. The outcome is decided and no second miracle occurs. On the water surface, the last ripples vanish. The water continues flowing, reflecting natural law that won't stop operating for losses. The baboon troop leaves the riverbank, quickly reestablishes formation, with the wounded young walking in the troop's center. Life continues despite carrying irreplaceable loss. The young is still too small. It doesn't fully understand what just happened, but survival instinct has deeply carved a life-and-death experience. In nature, victory sometimes is simply being alive. No heroes or villains, only existence continuing in life cycle. Below the river, the crocodile returns to familiar ambush position. It can fast for many weeks, but still patiently waits for prey. Persistence is its key survival weapon. Life by the water always exists in fragile balance, where action and waiting alternate, creating an endless cycle. In the distance, the baboon troop has found an area with food and gradually restores daily behaviors. But the formation is now missing one member. The young with leg wound sits beside another female. It will grow up, will learn to survive, and someday will have to face this river once again. In the silence of the African plains, each species holds a role in nature's endless cycle. Life and death aren't opposites, but two parts of the same flow. Dawn spreads across the Serengeti, piercing through thin mist, awakening the vast plains where creatures operate by harsh survival laws. Early wind carries the scent of damp earth and breath of thousands of creatures gradually waking, from small species to predators atop the food chain. Under acacia canopies, as temperature gradually rises, life's rhythm becomes more vibrant. Species begin seeking food and water sources for the new day. A baboon troop moves slowly across open land, adults leading, young playing behind, not yet knowing today will be different from all others. Baboons are among Africa's largest primates, adult males weighing up to 40 kilograms, with canine teeth reaching 5 centimeters long. They live in large troops, from several dozen to over 100 individuals, with strict hierarchical system led by strongest males, creating a highly organized society. A young baboon separates from the group, curiously advancing toward nearby bushes where something is stirring among dry leaves and broken branches. Mother emits a short call summoning offspring back, but exploratory instinct makes the young individual react slower to the warning signal. Hiding in the bushes is a honey badger, creature dubbed the planet's most fearless animal according to Guinness World Records. With skin thick up to 6 millimeters that can rotate freely around the body, honey badgers are nearly immune to fangs and claws of most enemies, even cobra venom. The young baboon advances closer, tilts, head observing the strange creature among bushes, not yet recognizing it's toying with one of the plains' most dangerous species. The young baboon's small hand touches the honey badger's short tail and pulls lightly, gradually triggering an irreversible chain of events. The honey badger turns its head, black eyes showing no fear, only the cold warning of a warrior accustomed to countless life and death battles. It backs a few steps, emits a low, guttural growl from deep in throat, the final warning sound before all patience reaches its limit. But the young baboon still advances, and this time pulls harder. Crossing the boundary no creature should touch when facing a honey badger. To understand why the honey badger's next reaction is so terrible, one must look at the weapons evolution has bestowed upon this creature over millions of years. Honey badger claws are nearly 4 centimeters long, hard as steel, and curved like sickles, helping dig effectively and inflict serious damage on prey or opponents. Though jaws aren't large, they have bite force enough to crush turtle shells, and more importantly, the instinct to target weakest points on opponent's body. In contrast, baboons possess canines more developed than even leopards, but their true strength lies in numbers and collective coordination. When one member signals alarm, the entire troop can shift state almost instantly, creating fast and synchronized collective response. The honey badger whips around and bites the young baboon's arm. Screams ring out, tearing the silence, spreading like an emergency alarm signal. The baboon troop reacts instantly. Adult males charging down from all directions, mouths wide displaying canines amid threatening growls. In just seconds, the honey badger is surrounded by the baboon troop. They form a closed circle with no gap for the intruder to escape. The honey badger doesn't back down. It bristles fur, emits low guttural growls challenging the entire baboon troop, fighting instinct completely overwhelming all survival calculations. The attack unfolds simultaneously from multiple directions. Baboons lunging to bite, then quickly retreating, making the honey badger unable to focus on one target. The honey badger spins continuously, using claws to counterattack, sometimes inflicting significant injuries on individuals unable to dodge in time. But with each counterattack, several other baboons attack from behind, canines sinking deep into thick skin, trying to stretch the small body of the lone creature. Wounds become increasingly serious, but the honey badger keeps counterattacking, each bite accurately aiming at opponent's face or throat. The baboon troop applies tactics instead of individual attacks. They coordinate in groups of 3 or 4, some holding legs while others attack head and neck. The honey badger's resistance noticeably weakens, counterattacks thin out as the body is attacked from multiple directions under continuous pressure from the entire troop. Growls gradually weaken, but eyes don't extinguish the fighting flame. The survival instinct of the planet's most fearless animal won't allow surrender. The exhausting battle lasts nearly 10 minutes. Finally, the honey badger collapses, not from lack of will, but because the body has exceeded endurance limits. But the baboon troop continues attacking, even when the creature has stopped resisting. Protective instinct won't allow any threat a chance to recover. The lead male drags the carcass onto a low branch. This behavior marks the transition from territory defense to utilizing valuable protein source. Baboons are omnivores, with meat comprising part of their diet, and a honey badger is a nutritional source that cannot be ignored in this harsh environment. Dust hasn't yet settled. Blood scent spreads in hot air, creating easily recognizable signals for other predators at distant range. A figure appears at the area's edge, moving low and almost soundlessly, showing the cautious approach of another predator species. Spotted hyena, predator with the strongest bite force among terrestrial carnivores. Powerful enough to crush buffalo. Femur with one bite. The creature doesn't charge straight into the baboon troop's center. It circles outward, observes, assesses, seeks gaps in the busy defensive system. Hyenas are masters of opportunistic tactics, often avoiding direct confrontation and prioritizing lowest-risk moments to maximize efficiency. It quickly recognizes a young individual separated from protective circle, focused on food without maintaining safe distance from the troop. Distance close enough for a short 60 km/h sprint to create absolute advantage before adult individuals can react. The attack unfolds in an instant. Target is subdued, and the predator retreats immediately before warning signals spread. But the hyena has misjudged the situation. The baboon troop just experienced conflict, making their warning system operate at high sensitivity. Calls shift from warning to pure outrage, no longer defensive signals. Sounds echo across the plains like a declaration of war. The hyena recognizes the mistake as the baboon troop approaches faster than expected. Prey in mouth reduces speed, making safe distance rapidly close. First individuals have closed in from both sides, forcing the hyena into encirclement exactly like what they did to the honey badger just minutes before. The hyena must make an instant decision. It drops the young baboon to ground and turns to face the vengeful troop, jaws bared in threatening growls. But this time, the hyena no longer has the element of surprise. It faces a baboon troop in fully activated state, ready to counter all threats. The attack begins with even greater intensity than before. No longer harassment tactics, but continuous assault waves from all directions. The hyena resists fiercely, its jaws powerful enough to inflict serious casualties. But pressure from numbers makes it unable to focus on specific targets. The hyena's endurance begins depleting. Each bite consumes energy while the baboon troop continuously rotates attacks. The creature drops to one knee, tries to stand but is pushed down by the weight of 3 or 4 baboons at once. Encirclement tightens with no escape route. The outcome comes faster than with the honey badger. Hyenas lack thick protective skin, and the baboon troop learned lessons from the previous battle, attacking the most effective points. Two formidable plains predators have fallen in the same morning, not by a stronger opponent, but by the irresistible power of the collective. Afterward, the baboon troop quickly stabilizes. Individuals return to familiar roles, and daily rhythms continue as usual. Wind blowing across the plains gradually carries away blood scent and dust. Dry grass bends like endless waves, gradually concealing traces of the life and death battle just unfolded. In the wild world, there are no concepts of good and evil, only laws written by survival instinct over millions of years, where each species has an irreplaceable role. Tomorrow the sun will rise again over the Serengeti, and life's cycle will continue with new stories, where the boundary between hunter and hunted has never been certain. A long-tailed macaque troop is picking fallen fruit around the base of a tree. One young monkey separates from the group, bending down to gnaw at soft bark, unaware that a nearby rotting log has just quietly opened its eyes. What seemed like an inanimate object suddenly rises into a Komodo dragon, driving straight toward the young monkey, biting its leg and immediately releasing, leaving only a small bleeding wound. An alarm call rings through the canopy. The entire troop leaps high into the branches, the young one struggling to climb with its injured leg. But strangely, the Komodo does not give chase. Instead, it returns to its original spot and lies down. The forked tongue flickers continuously, reading the scent on the wind, because for it, the hunt has only just begun. Concealed within that brief bite is an invisible weapon. The wound continues bleeding without stopping, and the prey's body begins weakening steadily from within. High in the branches, the young monkey still climbs and forages, as though it has escaped death. But directly below, the hunter simply lies still, following it silently by scent. The Komodo does not hunt through speed. It hunts through time. On these dry, scorching islands, patience is sometimes more dangerous than strength. But not every predator has that kind of patience. In another wetland, there is a hunter that must strike in an instant, because 1 second of hesitation and the prey will be gone. A brood of ducklings swim single file behind their mother through shallow water. Just one drifts a few strokes out of line, accidentally moving closer to the reed edge, where a great blue heron is standing and waiting. The heron does not move. It only lowers its neck a fraction more, then suddenly drives its beak downward at the exact moment the duckling swims past. By the time the water has rippled, the duckling is already sitting in the long beak. One upward toss, and the small body slides down the slender throat. Because that beak was not made to hold or tear prey. It was made to swallow whole and fast before the prey has any chance to resist. Ahead, the mother duck still leads the brood swimming on, quietly leaving a gap in the line. And in a forest thousands of kilometers away, a similar tragedy is beginning. High on a branch in the Southeast Asian forest canopy, a small nest sways in the wind. Inside, a brood of chicks jostle each other with open beaks, calling for their parents to bring food. At the base of the tree, a long brown shape begins to climb. Its skin blends almost entirely into the color of the bark, making every movement difficult to detect. Only when the small snake has crawled up close to the nest do the parents return. They spread their wings and dive to block its path, but cannot drive the intruder back. The wide mouth presses into the nest. The nearest chick is taken in that same motion. No time to react or pull away. The weak movements of resistance gradually fade with every swallow. The parent birds still circle anxiously outside, but every effort now reaches only empty air. When the nest falls silent, the long shape on the trunk finally moves away slowly. But on the East African savanna, everything is decided in a single moment. In the open grassland, a wild dog pack has just brought down a gazelle after a long pursuit. It has not even fully collapsed when the entire pack drives in to feed. They do not finish the prey first, not out of cruelty, but because there is no time. The scent of blood has already spread on the wind, and from the horizon, a clan of hyenas has begun moving in. The entire pack swallows large chunks rapidly, barely chewing, then carries what remains away, because only what is inside the belly truly belongs to them. Full, the pack leaves the bare skeleton behind and drives straight back to the den. Hearing the familiar footsteps, the pups that have gone hungry since morning rush out, pushing their muzzles against the adults. The adults regurgitate what they just swallowed and feed the pups. At that moment, the brutality takes on a different name: responsibility to the next generation. The way they hunt may look merciless, but on the savanna, where hunched silhouettes are always ready to steal a kill, eating fast has never been cruelty. It is how to survive. A hyena walks past the skeleton without stopping. It does not need the leftovers, because the prey it brought down itself is still lying there, waiting for it to return. A few hundred meters away, a zebra lies in the grassland after the chase. The entire hyena clan has already surrounded it and begun feeding while it is still alive. Hyenas do not wait for prey to stop breathing before eating. For them, both happen at once, and that is what makes this species regarded as the most brutal of all. Among the most powerful jaws of any carnivore, strong enough to crush large bones, leaving a dry cracking sound that carries across the wind. While the clan feeds from behind, the zebra still tries to raise its head, watching the shapes of its herd fading at the horizon. That is the most heartbreaking image of the grassland. Then the black and white striped head slowly drops into the grass. The weak breathing fades until everything is swallowed by the dry sounds of the hyena clan. That sight is difficult to look at directly, but the hyenas do not concern themselves. Their jaws were never made to know how to wait. The feeding goes on for many minutes, seeming like the extreme point of waiting for the day. But on an island thousands of kilometers away, another hunt has been continuing for many hours. The Komodo dragon is still lying exactly where it was, not moving, not pursuing, only waiting quietly because it knows the prey is slowly consuming its own body from within. In the branches, the young monkey is visibly different from before. It moves less, the injured leg making every shift to another branch more difficult. Inside its body, the toxins from the bite are still spreading silently. Blood unable to clot, blood pressure falling, quietly drawing out the last reserves of the prey's strength. The end is drawing closer. Above, each grip the monkey makes grows more uncertain, swaying, as though just one more gust of wind would bring it down. The young monkey slips from a low branch and falls to the ground. The troop above is frightened, but not one individual dares come down into the open space below. The Komodo moves forward slowly. It no longer needs speed or surprise. The prey has weakened to the point where every movement of resistance is nothing more than a meaningless reflex. The monkey is pinned to the ground, eyes still open to witness everything, but completely powerless. Above, the calls thin out, then dissolve into the silence of the forest. When the last portion has passed down its throat, the dragon moves away and crawls into shade. Its body shifts into a resting state, channeling all energy into digestion. A female monkey looks down from above at the empty base of the tree, pausing for a few beats, then pulling back. The entire troop quickly changes direction, moving away from the area where the event just unfolded. The dragon's body presses flat against the earth, blending into the dull-colored ground until it is nearly impossible to see. Once again, it has become an invisible trap, patiently waiting for the next prey. Across every ecosystem, the hunts have each closed in their own way. Every life that falls does not disappear. It becomes the source of life for another. Nature has no concept of good or evil, no knowledge of compassion or cruelty. It follows only one law: sustain life at any cost. Humans assign emotions to it because we see the world through our own experience. But nature holds no such perspective. It only responds to the conditions of survival. And on that island, the silence is cut through once more. Beneath the leaf litter, a very small movement has just appeared. The beginning of another hunt. Early morning on the African savanna. The air isn't hot yet, but right beneath the ground, life began moving long ago. This is not the land of the strongest, but of the most dangerous. And that boundary is sometimes only a few millimeters long, the length of a fang. Every morning here begins with silent calculations. Who eats whom, who avoids whom, and who carries a weapon that the enemy never sees. Africa has hundreds of venomous species. Many are smaller than a hand, but size doesn't matter. Venom only needs enough time to take effect. This is a biological weapon refined by nature over millions of years. Not for indiscriminate attacks, but to terminate a target with ultimate precision. In nature, two main mechanisms exist. One type attacks the nervous system, fast and silent. The other destroys tissue and blood, slower but harder to stop. The first group is neurotoxins. They don't need strength, just a single touch. And from that moment, time begins to work against the victim. The black mamba is the most typical representative of this group. Up to 4.5 meters long, ground movement speed can reach 20 kilometers per hour. No species escapes faster than it. When threatened, the black mamba raises its forebody, revealing an inky black mouth. It's not a display, but a final warning before attacking. The cobra chooses a different way. It spits venom into the eyes from a distance, causing almost instant blindness. No need to approach, giving the opponent no chance to react. The other group uses hemotoxin. Death does not come immediately, but lingers over time as the body is gradually destroyed from within. The bush viper is the most common hemotoxin carrier in Africa. Though it lacks speed and range, in the savanna, no one sees it before it's too late. The afternoon here changes in ways that are hard to notice. The temperature drops, shadows begin to lengthen, and on a small rock near the forest edge, something is waiting. A field mouse is moving close to the grass, completely normal behavior, foraging, observing, pausing. But nearby, a pair of eyes is watching. Venom doesn't require the host to be large. It requires patience. And on this savanna, patience is something that has been honed over a vast amount of time. To understand what is about to happen, one must know what that moving creature can cause. And the answer, in truth, is terrifyingly simple. The emperor scorpion looks big and heavy, but it isn't the most dangerous. The scarier species are often smaller, yellow, and nearly vanish into the sand. The Deathstalker scorpion is much smaller, but its venom is extremely potent, acting simultaneously on the victim's heart and central nervous system. In the twilight, it stands perfectly still. No threat, no attack. Just existing, with its curved tail behind it already dangerous enough. The bush viper is not as fast as the mamba, but it hides perfectly. No sound, no movement, and when it strikes, everything ends in less than 0.25 seconds. The viper's jaw has a special folding mechanism. When attacking, the fangs spring out like hypodermic needles, piercing deep into the tissue and pumping venom directly into the body. Hemotoxin destroys red blood cells and the ability for blood to clot. Victims do not die from the wound. They die because the blood no longer has the ability to clot. The mouse stands still, unaware that it has fallen into the crosshairs. The snake doesn't need to see or hear. It only needs to sense the heat from the prey's body. No need to see or hear, just a temperature difference. Anything warmer than the environment becomes a target. Because of this, the viper causes the most deaths each year. The distance is less than 30 centimeters. The mouse stops, then takes another step, and the snake remains motionless, waiting for the exact moment to strike. In less than half a second, the fangs spring out, embedding deep and pumping venom into the prey's body. Everything happens so fast, it is almost impossible to perceive. The mouse recoils. Pain reflexes triggered, but the venom is already in the blood. From that moment, the internal destruction process begins. The viper does not give chase. Within 10 to 20 minutes, the prey will begin to lose orientation. The snake only needs to follow the remaining heat trail. Elsewhere, a small spider also carries its own venom, enough to destroy tissue from within in a slower but no less dangerous way. A brown spider bite is almost painless at first. The victim often doesn't realize it until the skin area begins to necrose hours later. Neurotoxins strike the body's control system quickly. Hemotoxins destroy from within, slower but more prolonged and harder to control. Afternoon has arrived. The viper still lies still, not moving, but its body still silently monitors every change around it. The mouse begins to move more slowly. Hemotoxin has begun to take effect. The body is losing coordination. This is the final sign the predator is waiting for. The viper begins to move, not rushing, each step precise along the heat trail. This is the process of retrieving what already belonged to it after the previous attack. The viper is not the strongest nor the fastest, but hemotoxin allows it to take down prey larger than its body without needing a direct confrontation. After all, the savanna is silent again. Not a peace, but a balance re-established after every encounter. The viper returns to its familiar spot. It will rest for many days to digest, but the venom has already begun to regenerate, starting now. Not far away, a black mamba glides across the high ground. On the same savanna, many venom mechanisms coexist without the species being aware of each other. The mamba does not actively attack, but when cornered, it can bite repeatedly, each time dangerous enough to take down large prey. Its venom attacks the nervous system, causing the body to gradually shut down. The victim remains conscious, but loses the ability to breathe in silence. The cobra chooses another way. Its venom combines neurotoxins and tissue destruction, and it can spit from a distance without touching the opponent. In the twilight, it faces a meerkat. Both stand still. The distance remains the same, but the advantage is leaning toward the snake. In the world of venom, danger does not always lie with the largest. The small, hard-to-see species often pose the greatest risk. The yellow-tailed scorpion is very small, but carries potent neurotoxins. Just one sting is enough to be dangerous if not treated in time. This third killer, it doesn't hunt with speed or ambush. The scorpion exists by becoming invisible, and in the darkness, invisibility is the perfect tactic. At the same time, the black mamba begins to move. This is the time it operates most effectively on the savanna. Nearby, a mongoose appears. It has a partial resistance to venom, but it is not immune. Every mistake still carries a price. The black mamba detects the mongoose and stops. It raises its head to observe, not hiding. This is a calculating posture, only deciding to attack when the moment is clear. The mongoose also circles the snake. Both sides look at each other for a few seconds, enough to understand the opponent. It has venom resistance, but that doesn't make the mamba back down. The mamba strikes. Quick, clean, only the head and neck lunging forward. The bite is precise, venom entering the blood almost instantly. There is no chance for correction. The mongoose runs around, its body reacting immediately to the venom. But the mamba does not chase. It stands still, watching. To it, one precise strike is enough. The mamba turns its head, disappearing into the darkness. No rush. Behind it, the mongoose has recovered. Its body fought off a dose of venom that wasn't enough to kill. The savanna returns to its familiar rhythm. There are no absolute winners, only species that continue to exist in the way that suits them best. The viper is still coiled there. The scorpion moves on the ground nearby. The mamba has disappeared. 3 species, 3 ways of existing, and no species needs to be the largest. Looking at the viper in the night, no aggression is seen, only absolute patience. And sometimes it is the waiting itself that is most dangerous. Venom is not a weapon of destruction. It is a tool of balance. Each species controls another, creating a system where everything is closely linked. Every year there are thousands of deaths due to snakes, but they themselves also prevent many pathogens from spreading. In nature, nothing is simple. The African night is not truly silent. It is only quieter to human senses. Under rocks, in the grass, under the sand, everything is still operating. There are no names for what takes place. No good, no evil. Just a system of existence older than any language that ever appeared. And the question is not which species is the most dangerous, but what would happen if one link in this system disappeared? The early morning mist blankets the Masai Mara Valley, turning everything into silent, drifting shadows. The sun has not yet risen, but the savanna has already begun to stir. The call of a hornbill rings out, followed by the chorus of insects layering one upon another like a familiar symphony every morning. The savanna is shifting before the dawn. The ground begins to vibrate faintly. From the other side of the valley, a massive dark mass appears. A herd of African buffalo moving slowly through the early morning mist. Among the forest of legs and horns, calves are struggling to keep pace with the herd. Born less than a week ago, they are fragile, yet always kept within the fold. The African buffalo is the largest wild bovine on the continent. A fully grown adult can weigh up to 900 kilograms, and the fused horns at the top of the head form a hard shield, making them a formidable opponent. They live in large herds of several dozen to several hundred, constantly on the move in search of grass and water. The strength of a buffalo herd together is nearly impenetrable. But newborn calves are the weakest link, weighing less than 40 kilograms. Their legs still tremble when running, and entirely dependent on their mother's milk. They are the perfect prey for every predator. In the first weeks of life, African buffalo calves face an extremely high mortality rate. Predators such as lions, hyenas, and leopards are always lurking. For that reason, the mother buffalo rarely leaves the calf's side. She always positions herself between the calf and the outer edge of the herd, constantly looking back to check. This morning, the herd is heading toward the Mara River to drink. It is a familiar journey, but never a safe one, especially for the calves. And the buffalo herd is not the only group moving toward the river this morning. On the high ridge to the east, rounded ears are pricked upright, and amber eyes are tracking every step of the herd. A pride of lions has been lying low in the tall grass, watching the buffalo since before sunrise. To understand the tactic, one must know that lions rarely attack adult buffalo if a better option exists. Their target is always the weakest individual in the herd. The lion is the only big cat that hunts in groups. When facing African buffalo, they create panic to fracture the herd, then isolate any calf that falls behind. The jaws and claws of a lion can bring down prey, but the horns of a buffalo can also pierce a lion's abdomen in a single charge. This is a game where both sides can pay with their lives. The pride splits into two directions. One group swings left, another holds the right, while those at the rear stand ready to press in and drive the prey herd into a position where it can be pursued. The buffalo herd continues grazing calmly, unaware of the danger, but an old bull standing at the edge of the herd suddenly raises his head. His nose has caught something on the wind. He lets out a sharp snort, a first-level warning signal. A few nearby individuals raise their heads, but not enough to trigger a full herd response. And the lions understand that the window of opportunity is closing. The lion pride launches its attack. 4 subadults charge straight into the edge of the buffalo herd with a thunderous roar. The goal is not to kill, but to create chaos. The buffalo herd erupts in panic. Hundreds of animals surge forward, hooves pounding the earth like rolling thunder. Red dust rises in thick clouds, obscuring everything from sight. In the midst of the chaos, a small calf is left behind. 2 lionesses break from opposite sides. One lioness seizes the calf's hindquarters and drags it down. The other leaps onto its back and pins it. A piercing cry rings out, not only from pain, but as a distress call. The mother buffalo turns back first. She charges against the flow of the fleeing herd, horns lowered, eyes blazing red, alone. She drives straight into the lioness, pinning her calf to the ground. The first charge hurls one lioness off. The other is forced to release the calf and back away. The mother buffalo stands in front of her calf, breathing hard, full of menace. Then the ground begins to shake, not from the footsteps of lions, but from the direction of the herd. The distress call has reached exactly where it needed to. Dozens of adult buffalo are turning back, and they are not moving slowly. The herd descends like a flood. 20, 30, then 40 individuals form a line, horns lowered, turning the grassland into an unstoppable force. The lion pride immediately recognizes that the situation has reversed. From attackers, they have become the targets of the buffalo herd. The herd encircles the area. They form a ring around the mother and calf, horns pointing outward in every direction, creating a defensive wall with no gaps. The lioness is sent rolling, lying there panting. She is not badly injured, but hurt enough to understand that the hunt is over. The lion pride retreats one by one. They walk slowly, maintaining a composed appearance. But in reality, they have lost all control of the situation. Today, the feast does not belong to them. The buffalo herd holds its formation for a few more minutes. This caution is the product of millions of years of evolution, only breaking position when safety is certain. The mother buffalo lowers her head and licks the scrapes on her calf's body. When the danger has passed, the African buffalo herd continues its journey toward the Masai Mara. The calf is placed at the center, surrounded by multiple adults. The entire herd slows its pace to match the short steps of the young one. That is the price of protection, sacrificing speed to keep every member whole. In the distance, the lion pride rests in the shade of a tree. They will return tomorrow, for the cycle of hunting never stops. On the Masai Mara Savannah, there is no permanent victory. There is only a survival repeated day after day between predator and prey. Research shows that buffalo calves in large herds have survival rates 3 times higher than those in small herds. When the herd is large enough, lions have almost no chance of success. But climate change and habitat loss are fragmenting buffalo herds. The smaller the herd, the weaker the collective strength, and the more vulnerable the calves become. Every calf that survives today will grow up to become part of the protective wall tomorrow. The cycle of protection continues through each generation. That is how the African buffalo has endured for millions of years. The herd reaches the riverbank. Cool water flows around their legs, and the calf cautiously steps to the water's edge for the first time, while the mother stands close beside it, not moving an inch away. Today, the riverbank is quiet. The calf has drunk its fill. It has just survived the most dangerous day of its early life. As the evening light paints the Masai Mara red, the African buffalo herd begins moving back toward the tall grass. Hundreds of individuals walk in the same rhythm, forming a moving living wall. The calf tucks itself against its mother's flank, within the embrace of the herd. In nature, no creature is strong enough to survive alone. And sometimes, the most resilient line of defense is built not from individual strength, but from the presence of an entire community. As the darkness finally yields to the break of dawn, the African savanna wakes up in silence. A thin mist still lingers on the dry grass. Under the sparse acacia trees, the space remains quiet. There is nothing yet to suggest that today will be any different from thousands of days before. From the bushes, a pair of golden eyes opens. Though not yet moving, the body is already in a state of readiness, not because of danger, but because of instinct. This is a land where every species participates in a common game. No rules are written, but everyone understands their boundaries. The Cape porcupine, Hystrix africa australis, moves along a path it has memorized from many nights before. Each footstep is steady, without haste. A layer of quills covering from neck to tail reaches up to 30 centimeters long. They are not for attacking, but a defense system formed through tens of millions of years of evolution. This rodent is primarily nocturnal, living in pairs or small groups. They forage on the ground, digging for roots and tubers to maintain energy. Upon detecting a strange sound, the porcupine stops abruptly. The quills on its back rise in less than a second, a reflex that requires no thought. In the ecosystem, porcupines play a significant role. Their burrows become shelters for many other species when the dry season arrives. It emerges from the burrow, lifting its head. The air carries a strange scent. Something in the distance is shifting that only its nose can perceive. Not far away, under the acacia canopy, a young individual watches. Less than 2 years old, it is making its first independent hunting decision, marking the transition from dependence to self-reliance. The leopard moves step by step, hiding itself in the grassland. The savanna does not know that a script is about to unfold, and no one can predict the outcome. It should be noted that this young leopard is in the process of maturing. All its skills need to be honed through experience, sometimes at the cost of pain. The leopard, Africa's most versatile solitary predator, capable of climbing trees, swimming, and adapting to almost any environment. This leopard lacks enough experience to distinguish familiar prey from prey that carries potential risks. It looks at the porcupine and sees only an opportunity. Each porcupine quill is a hollow keratin fiber, sharp and featuring backward-facing barbs. Once embedded in soft tissue, they pull themselves deeper with every movement of the victim. The leopard has speed, strength, and claws. The porcupine has an armor that cannot be pierced by conventional approaches. This is a match where strategy is more important than strength. The porcupine continues to move, unaware of the approaching danger. But instinct begins to register signals. The pace slows. The head tilts slightly. When the distance is 20 meters, the porcupine recognizes the change in its environment. It bristles its quills and runs toward the grass thicket ahead. The distance closes to 10 meters. The grass is still. The wind stops. In that moment, the savanna seems to hold its breath, along with the two creatures facing each other. The leopard lunges. The porcupine's reflex is instantaneous. Its back turns toward the attacker, quills standing upright like a living fence. But the leopard is too close to stop. The leopard recoils. One or two quills have pierced its front paw. It looks down, licking the paw, an action not of calm, but of confusion. The porcupine does not flee. Instead, it continuously pivots to keep the quills pointed toward its opponent. This is the optimal strategy after millions of years of evolution. The leopard continues to approach from the front, exactly the direction the porcupine is defending most strongly. It hasn't realized that the quillless part is at the head, not the rear. The second time, the leopard lunges from a side angle. The porcupine pivots in time. A quill stabs into the leopard's cheek. A short hiss, not from the porcupine. The pain is much clearer than before. But during that pivot, the porcupine failed to maintain a perfect defensive heading. A part of its body without quills was exposed for a few seconds. Fortunately, the leopard was not focused enough to capitalize. Both sides stop. The leopard breathes heavily. The porcupine still turns slowly, patiently. Neither side wants to leave first, as the price to pay grows steadily larger. The leopard begins to circle. The porcupine follows every step closely. The turning circle tightens. This is no longer a simple hunt. It is a test of patience and technique. The leopard tries a third time, this time from above, attempting to use its weight to pin the porcupine to the ground. But quills do not distinguish the angle of attack. The result remains unchanged. In a fit of desperation, the leopard bites the porcupine's body. That was the final mistake of the day. Quills embed deeply into its gums and tongue, so much so that it cannot close its mouth immediately. With quills stuck in its mouth and at least 3 others in its paws, the leopard's ability to hunt in the coming days will be severely compromised. The porcupine does not linger. It turns away in its original direction, its footsteps steady as if nothing had happened. Its body is almost entirely intact. Porcupine quills do not inject venom. Their impact comes from physical shape. The backward barbs prevent easy removal, and infection is the greatest risk for the one stuck by them. The young leopard will carry those quills for many days. Some may migrate deeper on their own. With each passing day, the pain will teach it something no book could record. In nature, predators learn through failure just as much as through success. Every wound carries information that instinct cannot provide from the start. The porcupine's survival is not accidental. It is the result of long-term natural selection, optimizing a defense mechanism without needing to actively attack. After a few days, the leopard recovers and begins a new hunt. But every time it encounters a porcupine, it remembers that battle, making it reluctant to attack. In this world, no lesson is free. The remaining question, will today's lesson be enough to change future decisions? However, This species is facing a threat that no quill can defend against: the shrinking of habitat due to human expansion. The distribution range of the African porcupine has narrowed over several decades. They are forced to move through unfamiliar environments to find food and shelter. For the leopard, the threat is similar. Both species are adjusting their behavior in a world changing faster than evolution can keep up. What happened between the leopard and the porcupine is part of a continuous chain of lessons. Nature does not teach with words, it teaches through consequences. Both species will continue to exist in their own ways. One with perfect defensive armor, the other with a painful memory newly acquired. The savanna remains the same. Nothing changes in the big picture, but at an individual level, both leave with new knowledge learned from pain. There are no absolute winners or losers in encounters like these. There are only individuals who become better suited to the world they live in. The porcupine keeps moving. The leopard will try again with a different strategy and different prey. The savanna does not judge, it only records. After today will be another new day, each species continuing to play its irreplaceable role in a system larger than any individual. And as the light of the day's end gradually blankets the savanna, this land does not remember the names of any of them, but it keeps the traces of all.